everyone. We have Shania here. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
All right. Hope you all are having a wonderful time in the conference so far. We're going to continue on with our journey of lifting as we climb. Up next, we have Shania, who's the CEO and founder at CodeSee, a developer tool that helps developers and teams better onboard, refactor, and understand code bases. Today, she will be leading a developer workshop for those of you who want to stand out by creating a visual map of your code base to help you plan, automate, and review your next feature, as well as refactor or code review, whatever it is that you just want to have a special pair of eyes on. Welcome, Shania.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited today. Visualizing things and helping people understand like how they go through code changes and walking people through their code changes is a really great way to kind of stand out in this job market. But also, this workshop is going to be some tips. We only have 20 minutes together. So if a couple things before we start, if you want to head over to codesee.io to make an account with us, it's totally for free. You can go ahead and do that, and I'll remind people as they kind of trickle in during the workshop. But also, if you are creating a visualization of any of your code changes, we will also give you a certificate to put in on your LinkedIn profiles or on socials or on your GitHub that you can link to so that you can add that as a resume builder as well. We do this all the time. So if there's any support that you'll need, you can let us know. We have a Discord channel in case you want to be around other folks that are adding things to open source or how to contribute to open source or any areas where you need some support for visualizing things. You can always go to opensourcehub.io. That's our open source community. All things open source. So I'll say that in another couple minutes as people trickle in, but wanting to make sure that you all see that you'll get a certificate. If you email Anna at codesee.io, I think she's in the chat as well. She'll be able to make sure that you get a certificate and that we can highlight you all. So some tips while I get started in this workshop as you all are kind of creating your accounts. You want to make sure that to stand out in this job market, the whole basis of this is to stand out in two ways. The first way that you need to stand out is to optimize your resume for algorithms. Not sure if folks know this, but a lot of people use applicant tracking systems. They use a lot of AI and ML to be able to find the different keywords to surface your resume up. Just like a Google search engine or marketing search engine optimization, applicant tracking systems use a lot of algorithms to help the recruiter make their jobs more efficient. And so in order to optimize your resume to make sure that you are at the top of the stack, you want to make sure that your resume and your history and all of your projects are optimized for applicant tracking systems or algorithms within those applicant tracking systems. And then you also, at the same time, you also want to optimize and think about recruiters. So once you get past that first initial screen of an algorithm, like your P0s to optimize for algorithms to get to a person, you then want to stand out to that person. And a visual walkthrough in case that recruiter isn't technical, which is probably 95% of technical recruiters aren't technical themselves. So you want to be able to walk somebody through in order to stand out, walk somebody through how to understand your code changes, why your code changes are significant, what can you really do, and a visual walkthrough on top of your code is a great way to do that. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So when you first optimize for algorithms, you want to add as many keywords as you possibly can, as you have the ability to get through that ATS is the first tip. Trying to make sure that one, it makes sense, but two, making sure that if you can add different languages, different buzzwords, if you're trying to add more technologies, trying to get as many of those things on your resume as possible to kind of help you optimize for that. It's basically very keyword driven, is the way to go. So want to list out as many technical skills as you can in very clear headings and settings like this. So here's just a couple of examples how to optimize for algorithms. If you want to say, your technical skills, map out any programming languages and separated by frameworks and databases, any kind of cloud computing, any tools, making sure that they are comma separated so that the algorithms can basically easily delineate. You don't want to use like semicolons. You don't want to use any of that. Comma separated is probably the easiest way. For professional experience, you also want to make sure that that is keyword optimized. So making sure that, worked as software development projects using the frameworks that you have listed down below, developed and maintained, microservices, collaborated to, design and implement solutions, requirements, adding those types of keywords kind of separated out in very clear, like bulleted form so that it are snippets of code and not necessarily like long, exhaustive paragraphs to kind of optimize for algorithms. Very, very helpful to be able to do that. Here's a reverse tip. What you want to do to get to this point, you're probably asking like, what keywords do I add? You can essentially reverse engineer the keywords that you should have as a starting point. So basically, go to LinkedIn, grab 50 job descriptions that you are hoping to apply for, line them up in like a spreadsheet, and grab the skills and the keywords directly from the job descriptions. And that should give you a very good comprehensive list of how to optimize from there. Kind of a pro tip is once you have that list, then you can actually go to other people's profiles like on LinkedIn and see how they described their projects and how they talk about their resume, and you can basically kind of cut and paste things that might sound good to optimize for keywords. And then you want to test that strategy out. So apply to as many things as possible. You might have heard probably in the conference today that you want to apply to things even if you don't necessarily qualify, because the more things you have in keywords, the more things that you can optimize for as well. So that's just a pro tip. I personally have tried this strategy with roles that I've applied for. So this is a tip that I highly, highly recommend. And once you have you've optimized for the algorithms, you also want to optimize for the people. So again, as I mentioned, showing off your skills in a digestible way for a non-technical person at first will help you stand out to get past those gatekeepers with more technical roles. So you want to have a section on your resume that says visual examples of your skills. Most people try this out because it is a unique thing to see. You're like, oh, I can walk someone, I can show this off visually. Typically recruiters, when there are unique things, particularly skills that they can look at and see examples of, it is very helpful for them. What recruiters do, sometimes what good recruiters do is they'll use a software like Gem, which basically aggregates links for you when they're for the recruiter to go to your GitHub, to go through your Twitter, to go through like your other social media profiles to try to reach out to you to make it easier to do that. So there are already tools that kind of aggregate all of your things together. And by having a visual example of how you put your effort together for them, it actually helps make their lives a lot easier. So the more you can do for the recruiter, the easier it will be to make it through that check mark that they're looking for. So here is as an example of, so once you go to codesee.io, I'll pause here If you haven't already, feel free to go to codesee.io and make an account to be able to create visual walkthroughs like this. We also have our open source hub community all about visually adding visualizations to your pull requests, walking people through, contributing to open source so that you can use those contributions as examples for your resume. Typically, open source contributions are a really easy check mark to show off your experience to recruiters and to show contributions. And the way to optimize that is to visually walk people through those code changes. So feel free to, you won't be alone in doing this. If you join opensourcehub.io, we have a Discord. There's lots of folks there that will also be able to be on their onboarding visual walkthrough journey. So that's my PSA. Back to the talk. For visual tours on your code changes, being able to walk people through why something is complicated, how to understand what they're looking at is what you want to be able to do. And CodeSee allows you to take this visualization, and if in the event the recruiter is technical, or if they forward that code change over to the hiring manager, they can use this visualization to very quickly and optimally understand what your code change is doing. So that's why a visualization like this will save them time in understanding what you did, but also your added notes and comments will also even supercharge that understanding very quickly. It gives you a really good edge that we've seen people add to their resume. So just as a highlight, CodeSee is a code visualization platform. We do more than that, but this will definitely help you all to make sure that you can walk someone through your code changes and help you stand out both for algorithms and for people. So I'm hoping that there are, we do have some ways of walking through the comments in this workshop. The three, here I'll share again. Just trying to see what time it is. CodeSee.io, you go there, you install on your open source project, you create a code tour by just making a comment and clicking add to tour, link to a couple of examples on your resume. And it's really just that simple. That's how you do that. So if you're, I think I have one of our team members in the chat right now if you have any questions. But that's kind of the three things that you would do in order to do that. Very, very simple. And I think, again, opensourcehub.io or our Discord will be able to provide you some support to make sure that you all optimizing, standing out for your recruiters will be able to help. And I think I'm out of time. Is that correct?
If you need, it feels like you're also done.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Shania. This was wonderful.
Awesome. And please let us know if there's anything that we can do. You have access to all of our team and all of the people in the community to be able to help you.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Bye.